Chapter 17, The Long Goodbye. As the city recovers from the terror of a serial killer's last gasp, you find yourself in New York's most prestigious hospital. Your eyes slowly flutter open and you take stock of your surroundings. The room is brightly lit, the flowers spill over every surface. There's a sharp pain in your chest, and when you try to clear your throat, it burns. I'm alive. You can still taste the smoke, and it brings back memories of flames licking at your heels, of Tristan carrying you through the scorched halls of St. Clair Greenhouse. You'd think that they'd put her in a hospital gown. Tristan, is he? In the armchair to your right, sleeping Tristan lays his mouth slightly ajar. His hair is streaked with ash, and there's still a smudge of soot along his cheekbone. Tristan, you're drooling a little. As you speak the words, Tristan jolts upright, assuming a defensive stance. What? Who? Where? He frowns at you. What you said sinks in and swipes a thumb across his mouth to check for moisture. Royals don't drool, Chloe. We'd salivate. Look like regular civilian drool to me. It's good to see you haven't lost that biting wit in the wake of our deal. You reach over to take his hand, his fingers curl around yours, relaxing into your touch. And you? How are you feeling? Just a little smoke inhalation. It takes much more than a stray fire or lunatic with a handgun to best me. About that. How long have I been out? A day more or less. You did wake up once or twice, but the morphine made you a bit difficult to communicate with. You laugh, which spurs another coughing fit. He rubs your back until you can breathe clearly again. You inhale a lot of smoke before we escape. Though, if you can avoid the coughing, I'd recommend it. Your ribs are badly bruised. So, that's what hurts so much. What about Margaret? Is she alright? I'd say she's handling surviving a hostage situation and near death, rather well. She was great back there. If it hadn't been for her firing that shot, we'd likely be Eleanor and Tony's latest victims. She was, wasn't she? Mags may look squeaky clean and polished, but she knows how to fight dirty. Across the room, the handle on the door turns. You expect to see a nurse enter, but instead, Captain Thompson strides into the room, a stern expression on her face. Rose, I see you recovered. Not exactly, but I'm working on it. Captain Thompson, couldn't this visit wait until Chloe has regained the full capacity of her lungs? I'm afraid not. I need a witness statement so we can put this whole ordeal to bed. My statement is... Tony was only the tip of the iceberg. Eleanor was the true mastermind. She kidnapped Margaret, forced us to free Tony. I'm glad this whole thing is over. I'll tell you everything I remember, and I'll have Mafalda send our records along with it for the city's case. Understood, Rose, and I appreciate the cooperation. Whenever you're ready. She pulls out a clipboard and clicks her pen. Watching you expectantly, Tristan squeezes your hand again. The sooner you tell her, the sooner she's gone. You take a deep breath and launch into your account of the night. At times, Thompson stops you to ask for details, but mostly she just writes. Next thing I know, I was in the hospital. I don't regret my actions. I just wish I caught wind of Eleanor sooner. I'll admit your methods were unorthodox, but I can't argue with the results. She would still be at large if not for your intervention. It's too bad Eleanor's secrets would follow her to the grave. Not all of them. We recovered a ledger from the building burnt down. Forensics is reviewing it now. Once we identify them all, we'll have a team reach out to St. Clair's victims. A lot of cold cases just got solved because of your quick thinking. Finally, the families can have their closure. Exactly. We have a team reaching out to the parents, spouses, the works. They should all be notified within the week. I do wish to commend you, Chloe. Without it, we'd never know the true extent of St. Clair's crimes. No, I'm glad for that, and that you recognize it. The FBI is combing over her finances, properties, relationships. They'll find anything else she's hidden, I assure you. Did I hear a thank you yet? I'd liked it. It's past due. Let's not forget you broke a suspected murder out of city jail. That's a little unfair, Captain. Chloe did warn you before we left the precinct. Still illegal. I appreciate the cooperation, but the only reason you're not in handcuffs right now is because you were forthcoming. What were you supposed to do? Let Mordred die while your precinct sorted through all the red tape? I'm choosing to let it go this time, Rose. Just don't make a habit of it. You're welcome, by the way. She takes a deep breath, centering herself, and pushes forward. Luckily for both of you, Tony Kowalski confessed to everything. He's been transferred to high-security prison until sentencing. Regardless of our differences, you did good, Rose. But next time, let us handle the heroics. Right. Without ceremony, Captain Thompson takes her leave. As soon as the door shuts, you let out a sigh of relief. Always a pleasure, that one. I just... Never mind. You look over at Tristan and carefully watch his face. A twinge of sadness appears and his hand shakes as it holds yours. Hey. Come join me in bed. Scoot over to one side, raise the sheet in invitation, ignoring the sharp pain in your ribs. He climbs in, carefully wrapping an arm around you and nuzzling against your neck. Better? Getting there. For a moment, you just lie there like that at peace. Tristan's breath tickles your neck. After a moment, you feel a laugh reverberate through his body. I can't believe I didn't think of this arrangement earlier. We could have been cuddling the whole time. Probably would have been a bit unorthodox to talk to Thompson like that. I don't know. I think I would have enjoyed seeing her squirm. Tristan picks at a stray thread on the sheet, letting the silence stretch. What's on your mind? It doesn't take a detective to know something's up. Thompson got me thinking. I just know what it's like not to have that closure. I'm glad you went back for the ledger. At least they might know what happened, even if I never will. You know, it's not your fault, right? You've accepted that? Logically, perhaps. The rest will take time, but I know I can. With you by my side, that is. He meets your gaze with a twinkle in his eyes. Your heart pounds at the side, stirring the feelings you kept locked away. You consider telling him everything, how thankful you are, how much you don't want to see him leave. Tristan, Vitals! Let's get you checked out so you can be home in a jiffy. A nurse enters and the moment passes. Tristan moves out of the way as the nurse runs a few tests. Good news, based on these numbers, I think we can start the discharge paperwork. I'll go find the doctor. As he leaves, Tristan waggles his eyebrows at you. Overachiever. We could always just break you out if the doctor says no. It's been done before. Eventually, your paperwork is clear. Tristan walks you to the front of the hospital, and just beyond the doors you find Mordred waiting. Chloe, you're okay. All thanks to you. You were so brave, and a badass. Excuse me. Was it my sister dragged you through the burning wreckage of a multi-millionaire's cult headquarters? Listen, be humble. She did fight after being a hostage. Shh. She was the one to shoot a serial killer. I have to give credit where it's due. You saved me, Chloe, along with my brother. Don't underestimate yourself, Mordred. You were a very level-headed hostage. Luckily, just a few bruises and unexpected amounts of emotional trauma. Nothing I can't handle. As you head towards the parking lot, Mordred reaches into a bag at her side and pulls out a bundle of fine fabric. When I got discharged this morning, I immediately ran back to my studio to grab this for you. Do I really look that bad? No. You glance down at your clothes, still scraped and smeared with ash. You look heroic, but not exactly celebratory. Consider this a thank you gift, the first of many to come. She unfolds the bundle to reveal a stunning suit. Tristan whistles at the outfit. Reach out to feel the fabric, but wince at a sudden pain in your ribs. This is some of your best work, but I'm not sure I could get in it. Then allow me to offer my services. I am sure I can manage to help you get undressed. Really? Power suit! Where is my super suit? This is my power suit. I guess. She almost looks like a mob boss, I'm gonna be honest. You're right, Mags, it's perfect. Tristan's smile takes on a warmth as Margaret places the carefully folded suit in your arms. Look at the two of you bonding over fashion. My heart melts. Make sure you put it on before you leave. I have somewhere to be. But I swear, Eleanor will look tame compared to me. Yeah, getting in your backside is not on my list of things to do. Good, then I'll be in touch, Tristan. You know what to do? I'll make sure your directions are followed to the letter, Max. A town car pulls up. Margaret folds in with a flawless grace. You watch it disappear in the city, and then Tristan breaks the silence. Shall we get you changed before we depart? You and Tristan head into a bathroom just inside the hospital. Hey, you hang Margaret's creation on a hook as he locks the door. It appears you have me to yourself. What will you do? Oh, I can think of a few things. Tristan smirks and begins to carefully remove your clothing. His fingers brush along your bare skin, leaving goosebumps in their wake. Ah, how the tables have turned. Mere days ago, you were the one nursing me back to health. So a few days ago, after being stabbed, you're back at 100%? Not to mention the ensuing fight, smoke inhalation, and... Okay, point very much taken. I suppose this means we'll be nursing each other for a while. You slide your clothing off piece by piece and pulls up the tile on your feet. You shivers as fingers brush your newly bare chest. For now, though, allow me to take care of you for a bit. Alright, it's strange, but I'm kind of into it. Having you at my beck and call. Yes, please. Don't get too comfortable. My generosity comes in with an expiration date. And that is? When my partner gives me the all-clear and not a moment sooner. He carefully removes Margaret's masterpiece from the garment bag, smoothing the fine fabric. I suppose you do owe me. He stands behind you, gesturing for you to step into the pants. You do, one leg at a time. Using his shoulder for balance, he raises the fabric up your body, every brush against your skin sending a thrill through you. Of course, the next time I'll be the one gravely injured, and we can go through the whole cycle yet again. Not if you go back to Jakovia. Well, that's how you ruin a moment. Tristan's fingers pause on the zipper, the moment coming to a grinding halt, and then he forces a smile. You underestimate me. I'll find a way to get into trouble no matter which country I'm in. He slides the matching jacket over your shoulders, the silky fabric heavenly against your skin. Tristan finishes doing the last button and takes a step back to admire the view. Well, what's the verdict? I mean, I like a woman in a power suit, don't get me wrong. Mwah! Camille from the current trial, right? But, I don't know about pinstripes, I'm gonna be honest with you. Especially white and gold. Complete perfection. Mags may be talented, but you're the one making this ensemble, if you ask me. Do I look good enough to... kiss? You tell me. Tristan brushes a thumb over your cheekbone, eyes sparking with tenderness, and then leans in for a kiss. His lips caress yours as a hand rests on your waist. The kiss just starts tender and light, but you push closer to him, fingers hooking in his waistband. I'm not gonna break, Tristan. You can kiss me like you mean it. Noted. You feel his smile as he darts his tongue over your bottom lip, then sucks it into his mouth. Tristan presses his body hard against yours, a hand dipping down to squeeze the curve of your rear before he steps back. That was just a taste. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to explore later. You glance over at yourself in the mirror, admiring the way the suit forms to your body. I look too good just to go home, don't you think? Don't worry, Detective. You're all dressed up, and I have somewhere for us to go. Not long after, Tristan pulls up to a lovely cemetery. He helps you out of the car, noting the question burning in your eyes. What are we doing here? This is where you die. and Tristan was behind it all. No, I'm kidding. I wanted to share the news of our success this way. Together, you travel along the cobblestone path to a freshly dug grave. It smells of tossed earth and cut grass. Tristan kneels to read the engraving. Sonja Dormer. Her art touched the world. May she paint forever among the clouds. Sonja, you can finally rest in peace. I know taking down Tony and Eleanor won't bring you back, but they'll never hurt anyone again. It's over. You brought them to justice. Not just us. Without you, none of this would have been possible. Tristan lays a bundle of wildflowers atop the grave, arranging them delicately at the base of the headstone. Same color. I thought you would like that. As Tristan steps back from the headstone, an older man in a tailored coat approaches. His eyes are misty, and in his hands he holds a dull golden necklace. Good afternoon. Forgive me, but you're Chloe Rose, right? The private detective, yes? I am. This is my partner, Tristan Thorne. Is there something we can help you with? No, I just recognize you from the news, and I wanted to thank you. My daughter was. Tristan offers the man a colorful handkerchief from his pocket. He accepts it, dabbing at his eyes. She disappeared decades ago. One day she was on the college campus, the next she was nowhere to be found. I spent all these years wondering what happened, if there was nothing or something I missed, something I could have done. I'm so sorry. You've carried so much for so long. I know there's no helpful thing to say in moments like these, but that kind of grief is a lot to live with. I hope you have people you can lean on. It's too much for any one person to bear. I do, but it's been hard to live with so many questions. I've done my best to make peace with the answers, but this morning I received a call from the FBI. My daughter's name, it was in the ledger you recovered. She was one of Eleanor's victims? It would appear so. It's amazing how the fresh pain is to this day. Now I finally have closure. My wife and I can put her to rest at last. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. He clasps your hands, giving them each a hard, reassuring squeeze before shuffling back through the foliage. It would appear we've done something rather special with that. I'm just glad that I grabbed the ledger. Think of all the people like him who can finally have a shred of peace. Tristan looks at one last time at the fresh flowers placed on Sonja's grave. Before we go, there's one more stop I'd like to make. You follow the path deeper into the cemetery where the older gravestones are. You stop in front of one heavy weight in your chest. Hey, Dad. You bend to brush your hand along the lush grass, then run your fingertips across the name Jimmy Rose. Tristan reads the epitaph. Life is not measured in years, but in the memories we leave behind. This is your father's grave, isn't it? That's right. You've been so open with me, so I thought it was finally time to be open with you. When I think about my dad, I remember the good things. When I was a kid, he used to come back after a long shift, sit me on his knee, and tell me about every detail he could about his most exciting cases. His life was your bedtime story, in a way. I keep wanting to talk to him about everything we've been through together. But he's never going to hear any of it. He's gone. The truth is, I'm no closer to finding out who's responsible or why they killed him. You've been helping other people find their closure. That isn't a small thing, Chloe. Sometimes, though, I wish it was over, that I could move on. Instead, I'm still stuck there, grieving. I'm not always good at following my own advice, but someone said something to me once that I felt was very relevant. Grief will let you know when it's done with you. You can't rush it, Chloe. You're allowed to take your time. That's actually really good. That actually is. What if I grieve for the rest of my life? Then you have people who will support you until the worst passes, and who understand why the hurt will never fully go away. Tristan pulls you into a tight embrace. Your ribs are still sore, the bruises smart, but you hug him back even tighter. Well, if that's true, I suppose you should finally meet him. Luckily for you, he can't grill you too bad. I'm delighted to hear it. I've been through more than enough in the past 2 weeks. Dad, meet Tristan Thorn, Prince of Dracovia. You like him. He's a giant pain in the ass. What a terrible first impression. You can't say that to your father. He'll think I'm a scoundrel. And then he'd be right. Okay, Mr. Rose, I will say that your daughter is quite the little jokester. I hear from Tommy that she inherited your wit. I try to do Dad proud. And you should be proud, Mr. Rose. Your daughter is everything I'm sure you hoped for. You stay there for a while, your arm wrapped around Tristan's waist. The wind dances through the flowers as you pay your respects. After you're finished with the cemetery, Tristan drives you back to the drunk tank. The two of you pause right outside of the front door. I hope the ceremony wasn't too much, cemetery. After the hospital, I felt it was the right time. It was perfect, and I'm glad Sonja and my dad got to know how it all panned out. How it all panned out? You can't really think that was the big finale. Before you can craft a response, he opens the door to the drunk tank with a grand flourish. Surprise! As soon as you step through the threshold, all of your friends leap up from their seats to welcome you. Detectives of the hour. The best Crime Stoppers in New York. My heroes. Congratulations on not dying. How did you... What? I may have known about this, and I may have taken a detour on our way back. Alice, full of excitement, slams into you with the full weight of her body. You tumble back into Tristan's arms. Oof. Easy on the merchandise, Alice. We'll break her ribs all over again. It's okay. She's just as happy to see me as I am to see her. You reach down to scratch the skin between Alice's ears. I can't believe this. You all did this for me? With tears in your eyes, Uncle Tommy pulls you in for a bear hug. Anything for you, kid. Always. Now, let me get you a stiff drink before I leak all over the place. Uncle Tommy dips behind the bar, and Tristan grins at you as the party resumes. Well, were you surprised? Floored. I don't even know where to start, so there's so much to talk about, so many people to thank. Well, there you go. Where I go, you go. Just say the word. You glance around the room. Luke and Mafalda drinking in the corner. Uncle Tommy working the shaker behind the bar. Ruby and Margarette are lost in an animated conversation. Let's get our drinks before we begin the conversing. You and Tristan sidle up to the bar, and Uncle Tommy pours you both around, following up with one for himself. What is the undertone I'm tasting in this marvelous concoction? Is it anise? No, perhaps fennel? As Tristan continues his taste test, Uncle Tommy claps you on the shoulder. I'm so proud of you, kid. Your father would be just beaming with pride if we were here. Well, we couldn't have done it without your support. What were you thinking? Trying to take it all on yourself. You nearly got both of you killed. He's right. Uncle Tommy, Don't you ever do that to me again, you hear?
All I got left.
I know, but it's part of my job.
I know. Just promise me you'll try to use that head of yours before rushing in again. We want you around to solve as many cases as you can.
There's a pause as she's at your feet. Alice sniffs along the floor for crumbs and drops of your drink.
Honest to God, this dog never quits. If I don't know any better, I'd say she's a lush.
You love her.
I do. She's got real comfortable in my bed while you were in the hospital. She's taking over the whole bar while you were on this case.
Thankfully, it's over now. I'm happy to finally be able to close the door on this one.
Here, here. Maybe take an easy, open and shut case for the next one. You deserve a break.
No promises. Except my promise to watch after your dear niece. How are you going to watch over from Jacovia? Oh, Tristan goes white-knuckled, then forces a smile. No, I'm serious.
Well, if you two are determined to plow ahead, I'm in digging to Imp Jimmy's old files.
Really? I thought it was too much for you.
All this stuff with the city got me thinking. Won't be easy, but when you're ready to figure out what happened to your dad, I am too.
You hug Uncle Tommy. Once more, top off your drinks and head back into the party. The question is, what are we drinking? I still want to know. Tristan probably wants to know too. Luke and Mafalda. As you approach Mafalda, you notice a glossy sheen to her eyes. She and Luke clink the glasses of amber liquid before throwing back the contents. Oh, Chloe, I've learned this guy can make a damn fine drink. Well, we've been debating whether man happens or old passions are better. Oh boy, do me a favor and mix in some water while you're at it. Right, later. Right now, we've got bigger and more important things to do. The mayor dropped this off to recognize your hard work. Mayor couldn't stop to say it. He just dropped something off, that's it. You exchange a glance with Tristan as Mafalda reaches into her bag. She pulls out a velvet box and passes it to you. A key to the city from the mayor... Again, he just drops it off. Can't even afford to see you. Mayor Brigham wanted to march his cameras in here. Make it an opportunity to cleanse his reputation, but I had to put a stop to it. Thank you. I do hate being a pawn in someone else's photo op. Yeah, the mayor doesn't deserve the credit here. We did everything despite him getting in the way. The boss told me she'd better give you a raise. Otherwise, you're gonna leave and become our biggest competitor. Can you blame me for worrying? Chloe's already upstaged me in the whole style department. Mafalda. Rose Detective Services does have a nice ring. I think you mean Rose and Thorn. Luke will have to choose who he's most loyal to. Don't even joke about a thing like that. You'll give me a heart attack. Don't worry. I promise I'm not leaving. I like y'all too much. It sucks. Ruby has to go back to her job. I'm gonna miss her. Expertise, that is. She's great at all the ghost stuff. Probably happy to get back to it. Luke, you're so smart yet oblivious. Do you need me to show you how to hit on a woman, or are you finally gonna do it yourself? I could use a few tips in that department, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the hi, how are you? You look nice. Don't cut it anymore. And now anymore you say that, it's immediate, just... Help! Help! Seriously, I could go in, but YouTube would get mad. Hey, I've got game. I don't. You and Tristan leave them to bicker. He raises his eyebrows as you escape. I'm serious, I have no game whatsoever. I just try and be nice. It doesn't work. You drift over to Ruby and Margaret, deep in conversation across the room, with Tristan close on your heels. As soon as Margaret sees you, she envelops you in a hug. Chloe, you look even bit the powerful hero I knew you would be in that suit. I'm surprised to see you so dressed up. You look much less injured than expected. All thanks to my stylist Margaret and to Tristan for pulling me out of the greenhouse when he did. It was very heroic. I saw the whole thing. You didn't just see, you champion. Firing off that gun, if Tony hadn't gotten in the way, that might have been the end of Eleanor. Honestly, I'm still a little shaken over it all. I've never shot someone before. It was awful. But it was them or us. Luckily, Tony's just injured, but even if the shot had been fatal... You did the right thing, Max. Tristan's right. If you hadn't made your move, he would have done a lot worse to the three of you. And I regret nothing, even if their royal highnesses are inconvenienced by the scandal. Which reminds me, Tristan, you're expected to be returned home, or they'll force you... They didn't appreciate my name making the headlines. I take it. Even though it was for a good reason this time. Marjorie lowers her voice as Ruby consults her phone. It's more than that. The tabloids are starting to circulate the rumors about you again, about Juliana. Of course they are. I can hear her mother's voice now. It reflects poorly on the family, not to mention the entire country of Dracovia. There's a stretch of silence as you all consider what lies ahead in the near future. We don't need to discuss it now. Ruby, you've been watching Luke all night. When are you going to make your move? I haven't been watching him. I mean, maybe a glance here or there, but don't read anything into it. It's just a tiny crush. A tiny crush. Oh God, girl, make your move. For now, you never know until you try. But what if he's not into me? What if I ruin what we already have? Listen, hi, I'm from the future. You and Luke make a good couple. You should maybe go and just approach him. Say hi, how are you? Shut up, I don't know. Come on, Tristan, let's not push Ruby too far. You pull Tristan away before he can protest. He grumbles as you drag him away. After talking to everyone, you and Tristan take refuge in one of the booths at the back of the bar. You slide in on the same side. Hardly any space between you. Don't look now, but Luke and Ruby are still making eyes at each other from across the room. Oh, are they gonna get on with it? There's so much tension between them. I'm starting to lose my mind. Everyone can see they're into each other. I don't know what the hang-up is, because neither of them know how to approach the other. A mischievous glint sparkles in his eyes. He leans forward, lowering his voice. What if we give them a little nod, Jay? Play matchmaker. You really think that would work? My dear Chloe, I'm an expert in Dracovian courting techniques. The amount of people I've shot with Cupid's bow is astronomical. I know I could get them over the hump, shall we say. But I could use a partner to help me do it. Care to join? To think this is even a diamond choice. Get those two together already. I hope you have a plan. Those two will just not admit to it. Don't worry, it's foolproof. Grab a table and a deck of cards and I'll get the lovebirds. You retreat to the far corner of the bar, away from all the chatter. Soon Tristan drags Luke and Ruby over to join you. Welcome, welcome. We needed 2 more people to play. He looks at the deck of cards on the table and the king faced up. The king commands. Yes, that's the name. I've never heard of it, but it sounds like fun. Where's everyone sitting? Should we... Luke hesitates at the chair next to Ruby, and Tristan exchange a glance before clambering in your seats, forcing them to face together. You two should sit together. Why? Because you're on a team. Yeah, we're bad at this too. Scooch close together. You'll need to conspire for this game. How exactly does this game work? Is there a rule book we can look at? Maybe I can find one online. No, the rules are only written in Dracovian. Really? I'm sure I could pull up a translator. On it. Wait. Do you really want to spend the evening looking up the rules? Besides, they are several Dracovian words that don't translate simply, like the German Schadenfreude. My point exactly, so we're all agreed. Tristan will just explain it to you, and all you need to know is, you nudge Tristan with your foot beneath the table. You can see the gears turning in his head. Each card coincides with a different action you must take with your partner. The ace, for instance, requires you to dare your partner. Tristan flips through the rest of the cards, making up a rule for every one of them on the fly. Finally, he shows the last card. But if you draw the king, you have to kiss, because the king commands. Under the table, Tristan shows you the king of diamonds. He's slipped out of the deck and into a sleeve. Meanwhile, Ruby eyes you suspiciously. And you're good with playing this at a work event in front of your boss and uncle? I'm with Ruby. This could go south quick. Come on, you two. It'll give us a chance to bond. You're just appreciating another culture. Shall we demonstrate, Chloe? Happy to. I want to make sure you really sell it. Tristan pulls you in his arms, bringing a hand up to caress your face. In Drakovia, it's expected to put you all into the game. Some people put on quite the show. You close the distance between you, parting Tristan's lips with your own. You drink from him, running your tongue along his bottom lip. The two of you put your all into it so much that you almost get lost in the moment till Ruby clears her throat. Wow. That's a kiss. That's the king commands. If it's big in Drakovia, I suppose I can get over a little culture shock. I do want to understand where you come from, after all, Tristan. Well, I guess if everyone's game. You play a few rounds, Tristan, biding his time as Luke and Ruby get increasingly competitive. Shot time. Drawing the queen means you have to take a shot. Bottoms up. Ah, the jack. Looks like you must sit closer to me, Chloe. Twist my arm, why don't you? When the deck has considerably dwindled, Tristan pokes your foot with his. He mutters under his breath. Now for the real magic. With a sly wink, Tristan slips the card out of his sleeve and on the top of the deck just before Luke reaches to flip it over. It's the king! Now you have to kiss. As are rules are rules. You two, this is extremely transparent. Listen, shut up and kiss. The king commands. I have no idea what you mean. I'm trying to teach you how to play a king says. I thought it was the king commands. Probably just a mistranslation. Ruby looks between the two of you, shaking her head, then turns to Luke. Are you actually gonna... She leans in, planting her lips on his. Luke tenses in shock, then gives in to the kiss. He pulls Ruby closer, sliding his hand around her waist. Finally. Told you it was foolproof. Ruby pulls away, smirking. Luke stares at her flabbergasted. Luke, let's just put them out of their misery. You want to get some food after this alone? Luke still appears to be resetting from the kiss. He blinks at Ruby as if trying to process her words. Listen! Me and Luke have that in common. Luke, did we break you? Maybe I was too powerful. You wave your hand in front of Luke's glazed expression. Do we need to stick an ice cube down his shirt? Good idea. I'll ask Tommy. Luke interrupts and grabs her hand to hold her back. He nods, swallowing hard. Yes, I love food. Who doesn't? Has a woman ever asked you out before? You're the first. Which, by the way, should be more of a thing, by the way. Women, approach men, seriously. You wanted equality, you're getting it. And maybe the last? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. A first date's plenty of pressure as it is. At least I already know where to take you. It's a gastropub, but not like it in a pretentious way. A gastropub. Listen, I don't think on a first date I would ever want to go to a place that's a gastropub. Tristan raises his glass. I don't even know what it is, but you're thinking gastropub. At long last, Ruby and Luke are officially an item. I knew my plan would work. Ruby laughs, but Luca nearly chokes on his Manhattan. You clap him heartily on the shoulder. Another case closed. We really are the best damn detectives in the city. Here, here. You all clink your glasses, even Luke toasting to the night. Tristan shovels the cards. What's that I hear about another round? A few hours later, the party finally winds down. Ruby and Luke make quick work of the cleanup, while Margaret helps a drunken Mafalda into the cab. When did this curve become so uneven? Just a little further, Miss Genovese. Alice's maw widens in a giant yawn as her eyelids droop. That is me today. Bedtime, Alice. We promise we won't have any more fun without you. She slants her head, considering, then retreats to your uncle's room. You hear her grunt as she jumps onto his bed. Luke returns from the dumpster out back, surveying his work. Looks decent. I think I tracked down all the cocktail napkins and paper plates. We didn't want you to leave you with all the cleanup, since we are celebrating you. We're celebrating everyone. After all, Ruby gave us the... We're celebrating everyone. Then why are we gonna slant this and, like, lean on one or the other? I'm gonna go with Ruby, though. It's true. We wouldn't have had any leads at all if it were not for your keen eye, Ruby. She is pretty talented, isn't she? For a moment, Luke and Ruby look deeply into each other's eyes, lingering a moment longer than necessary. So, are you two leaving together? Tristan winks suggestively, and Ruby chuckles at the way Luke's eyes widen. Is that your business? I don't know. Should I look up the dossier instead? Luke rolls his eyes, but he takes Ruby's hand, leading her towards the door. You were saying something about a gastropub? They head out after Nafalda, hand in hand. Tristan grins beside you. They grew up so fast. Your uncle rushes past you, wrapping a scarf hastily around his neck. He checks himself in the bar mirror, smoothing his shirt. Are you leaving too, Tommy? He has a date.
Sure am. I'm meeting Sophia downtown. Enjoy having the bar to yourselves, but don't sample any more tequila from the top shelf. No.
That was one time. Raise your eyebrows as your uncle leaves. Tristan emits a low whistle. Uncle Tommy. Damn. Who would have guessed the old man had so much, the suave finesse here game? It's been a long time since I've seen him excited about someone.
I know the feeling.
I just screwed up that whole voice. Oh. I'm a little out of it. Leave me alone. Who could be talking? Who could you be talking about? Do I have to find out what the new flame in the newspaper? Allow me to introduce you now. You must know, it's not a party unless followed by an even better after party. Curiously, you follow Tristan up the stairs. He passes by your door without a second glance, making for the next level. There's nothing up there but the roof. Precisely. It was a door and leads you out onto the usually bare roof, and instead you find... I remember when I first saw this in Freshman, when it first came out. What is all this? Does Tommy know you're redecorated? In Dracovia, we probably could have rented out a Michelin star restaurant or a museum, or perhaps the aquarium, but on such short notice, this was the best I could do. I don't need big gestures, I'm well aware you're unused to such a level of courting. I know you don't need anything extravagant, and honestly, I'm holding back. Tristan clears his throat, looking away. But I do hope you still like it. It's a lot, but yes, I like it. I'm impressed. Marvelous. It's what you deserve, putting up with me for all this time, especially given the future. What do you mean? Tristan sighs deeply, his gaze unwavering. It's like Margaret said. My parents have demanded I get on a plane within the week. Are you gonna listen? I don't have a choice this time, unfortunately. The case is over. The tabloids are already abuzz. If I don't go, someone will come for me. I know I haven't been direct with you about my past or what I want for the future. I want to change that. He takes your hand, and the warmth of his touch sends a thrill up your arm. Over the past few weeks, I've realized that even if the future is a giant question mark, even if I go back to Dracovia, I don't want to lose you. I can't. What a mess we're in. I don't want to lose you either. I know I don't do a good job of saying it, but I'm crazy about you, Tristan. Crazy about me, or because of me? Is there a difference? I know that the timing of this declaration isn't ideal, but you'd introduced me to your father today, so seems like an important step, and I'd never forgive myself if I didn't say it, regardless of where I go or where our paths lead. I want to be with you. If you're game to find out where this heads or leads, so am I. You close the distance between you, settling into Tristan's embrace and wrapping your arms around his waist. Well, when have either of us ever backed down from a challenge? His lips a breath away. You linger there, teasing him just a little before you claim his mouth with your own. Tristan kisses you again, slowly, sensually, dragging the moment out for as long as he can. The rush from giving in leaves you breathless, so much so that you have to eventually pull away. We have this roof to ourselves for the entire night. I've set the mood, there's champagne, fruit, a silly amount of flowers. If I'm moving too quickly, stop me now, but it's my intention to make this the best night of your life. Fine. But remember, if things get too risque, yeah, no, you know what I'll do. Anyway. Let's see where tonight takes us. With a wolfish grin, Tristan pulls you down onto one of the plush couches. Tristan, can you blame me for being eager? You have no idea how long I've been waiting to show you what I can do. Last time was pretty impressive. And I was freshly stabbed. Just imagine what I'm capable of now thanks to your healing. Tristan guides you on the top of his body, setting one hand on your ass while the other cups the back of your neck. His eyes are hooded with lust as he leans in to whisper in your ear. I plan to savor every inch of you before the night is over. Is that right? Then you should probably strip first, to set the mood. Otherwise, I can't imagine feeling properly savored, you know? Yep, I figured this was gonna go that way. Demanding in and out of the bedroom. I gotta keep you on your toes. Tristan sits up, hands going to the long row of buttons on his shirt. He undoes each one at an agonizingly slow pace, teasing you. I think I'll take my time so you can appreciate the view. I said strip. I don't have to play or move like molasses. Patience. I took your little order, but I will carry it out on my own way. He smirks at you, but you can't take it anymore. You reach over and yank the shirt open, revealing the chiseled abs hidden underneath. I can appreciate you much better with your clothes off. With a smirk, he slides the shirt off. You run your hands over his glistening abdomen. His hands clench at the sides. You trail a hand down the center of his abs, down to his waistband, playing with the clasp of his pants. You slide them off, his body laying him bare before you. I could stay like this for the rest of my life and be content. Really? You don't want more? His eyes lock on yours as he toys with the fabric of your clothing. Maybe a bit more. He addresses you slowly, stilling your hands when you try to urge him along. Goosebumps rise to meet his lips as he kisses along your bare chest, your stomach. Tristan lays you back on the pillows, his eyes raking over your body. You rub a foot up and down his leg in invitation. What are you waiting for? Just trying to decide what I want most to do with you. Should I please you right here on the couch or up against the railing? And risque, so yeah. You collapse against each other, breathing hard as you come down from the high. Tristan rubs soothing circles along your skin as you recover. Round 2. Fight! Instead of responding, you throw your arms around his neck, pulling him into a searing kiss as the sounds of the city fade away. Finish her! A few days later, you accompany Tristan down the tarmac towards a royally chartered private jet. Alice bounds ahead of you as you cross the dark pavement. With every step, you feel your heart close tighter and tighter in your chest. Half of me expected a red carpet, cocktails waiting for you. The other half expected jailers. Don't be fooled. These are the most certainly jailers. They just delude themselves into thinking otherwise. So they might handcuff you if you refuse to leave. Would your parents really go for that far? It's not out of the realm of possibility. After all, my own mother thinks I'm capable of murder. He says it with a lightness in his voice, but you also see the dark glint in his eyes. At your side, Alice whines and nudges Tristan's hand with her snout. He bends down and takes her face in between his hands. Don't fret, Alice. You're in very good hands here with Chloe and her uncle. Besides, someone needs to save her hide when I'm not around to do it. I'm capable of saving my own hide, thank you very much. You look at the private jet ahead of you and sigh. I guess this is goodbye then. Come on, no sulking. You'll barely miss me. Think of all those new cases pouring into the agency for the great Detective Chloe Rose. Take down one absolute lunatic, and every New Yorker wants you to solve the great Grandma Salami robbery of 36. I may be busy, but I'll still miss you. I find that hard to believe. You've been itching to get rid of me ever since I tagged along after you. Maybe at first, but you've grown on me. Like mold. I will say going undercover is going to be a lot more complicated now that I've been on the news. Tip then. Don't do the baseball cap and sunglasses. People always think it's gonna work, but it doesn't. It's not even stylish. Well, we'll have to workshop it. Pretending to be a royal from Lycos didn't quite fly either. A minor hiccup. Next time you just need to prepare more. If you ever need a crash course of Eastern European royalty, I know who to call. Tristan looks over the plane as its engines roar alive. Neither of you moves, as if you can stretch this moment to last beyond the forces that drive you apart. Well, I suppose it's almost time. You meet his gaze, every nerve of your body yearning to reach for him, to drag him away from the jet, the airport, back into the city. It's too bad. We were really just getting started. His gaze drops your lips, and images of the night together you spent race through your mind. You can almost see the glimmer of the stars beyond the city lights, a curved rose petal resting on his thigh, and can almost taste the champagne he poured on your tongue. We were, weren't we? You lean towards him, forgetting the eyes of the Dracovian airplane crew are on you, wanting just one last. Prince Tristan, we're scheduled to depart momentarily. Shut up, woman. The crew member frantically waves from the top of the stairs to get Tristan's attention, and he sighs. What is it you love to say here on Broadway? That's my cue. Wait. Kiss me, damn it. How could I refuse? The wind picks up, the roar of the jet engines almost drown out his voice, but he steps forward, the warmth of his body washing over you. Don't refuse. He captures your lips in a kiss. It's deep, smoldering, but you can sense the melancholy behind the almost frantic passion. Your hands clutch his waist. You cling to him as if you could stop the whole world. When he finally pulls away, you lace your fingers in his. You give them a squeeze. I wish we didn't have to say goodbye. I know. But this isn't forever. He releases you, and your hands suddenly feel cold. As he climbs the jet's rollaway stairs, he places a shaky hand on the railing. You watch him ascend and slip into the cabin. The stairs are rolled away. The door shuts. The engines roar louder. You pat Alice's head as you both wait for the jet to depart. I'm not sure I can watch this, Alice. Maybe we should go. With your heart in your stomach, you turn around and Alice follows. Place one foot in front of the other, again and again. But suddenly there's an absence of sound. The jet engines stutter to a stop. You hear the creaky wheels of the rollaway stairs as they clatter over the pavement. What the... Not a step further, Detective. Tristan stands in the doorway of the jet, one hand still on the jam. He clambers through the small opening and makes for the stairs. My prince, please! Body shrugs her off, jogging down the stairs, seemingly on his way to you. What the hell are you doing? As Tristan closes the distance, he struggles for breath. It could be the wound, exercise, or maybe it's you. Alice leaps a foot in the air, bounding towards Tristan. Her paws slam into his chest, and he catches her laughing. Alice, I know this is very difficult to believe, but I do not run all the way back here just for your benefit. Don't keep us in suspense. Alright then, I want you to know I gave this whole me returning to Dracovia thing some thought. In the last 3 minutes? Yes, in the last 3 minutes. And guess what? You're coming with. Come on, let's go. 3 minutes is a very long time, Chloe. Once the door closed, it felt deeply in my soul that we left a great many things unfinished. You still have to solve your father's murder. I need to clear my name and avenge my late fiancé, preferably before being forced into chains. And then there's our business. The business of falling head over heels for me, or the agency? Obviously, we work well together. Perhaps teamwork is just what we need to bring the cold cases back into the light. And who says we can't have a little fun? I can get you into more dashing parties. You can catch more bad guys. Maybe start another fire. I think you're losing sight of the job description. Now isn't the time for humor. Chloe, what do you say we make this a more permanent partnership? I say, thank God you changed your mind. I don't want to influence your decision, but I'm glad you're staying. How did you plan to influence it? Grand gesture showcasing your undying affection for me? A rose for every moment you thought of me? That many roses would be a little out of my price range. I thought about shedding a single tear. I'll be honest, I did expect more tears. Well, I knew you wouldn't stay away for long, but I didn't expect it to be only a few minutes. Before the Dracovian people, if I don't give them whiplash, to go home only to come back so soon, I just hate to backtrack. The two of you begin walking back towards the taxi, Alice bounding ahead of you in unhindered joy. Tristan bumps your shoulder with his as you follow. But you do realize there's a reason partners in romance don't mix, right? Chasing a bad guy with someone you care about always at your side. It's trouble waiting to happen. Tristan grins back at you, wholly undeterred as he laces his fingers with yours. That's alright, I like trouble. Congratulations, you solved the mystery, collected clues to unlock a bonus scene, and a teaser for Book 2. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold my breath. When we heard about Book 2 for Most Wanted, how long we been waiting? 6 years? Several days after Tristan's near goodbye, back at the agency. You sit at the desk, carefully packing up everything related to the Heartache Killer into a box. Luke comes over and watch. I didn't realize how much stuff we collected since the beginning. If you think this is a lot, try my digital clutter. You look at the array of clues you picked up, recalling how you came across each other. We got the USB, we got the knife, we got the cylinder, we got the cell phone, we got the three-headed statue. And we'll think about where it all started. This started everything, meaning Tristan, fighting Sanja. She sacrificed so much to send our final clue. Well, at least she can rest easy now. You set the broken cell phone safely into the box. Oh, we're just gonna go through it all. Fine. Scorched photo. The original Hannah Mara on a young Eleanor St. Clair. A lot of evil in that one photo. Clearly it runs in the family. You grit your teeth as you hastily put the photo in the box out of sight, but horribly difficult to put out of your mind. The occult key. Makes sense this would be the secret key to a cult club or bomb shelter. Could they not have gone a little more subtle on the design? I don't know, I appreciate the warning. Speaking of, can our next case be something less creepy? I'll see what requests the boss has. You slide the key into the box, it hits the bottom with a small thud. I'm just gonna, I guess, go through all the items again. Ever get the feeling you're being watched still? Judging by the journal and the victims we found, I don't think you're Tony's type. Still, I wonder who all these women were. You shudder slightly as you review the journal's contents and close it decisively and toss it back into the box. What a sick, twisted series of trials. Just imagine if you didn't beat out Ruth and Kenneth St. Clair during the initiation. Now, if it wasn't been for Tristan and I, the rest of the fake cultists would have torn everyone to shreds, Nick and Nika included. Not sure if that would have been the worst thing to happen, though. You roll your eyes and store the cylinder away. Three-headed statue. The forgery Sanja praised for the Madani. A pretty good replica of the Gallic statue of Mahara, if you ask me. Too many eyes for my liking, they're watching me. Paranoid much? It's the reason I'm still around, thank you very much. You laugh and stow the Mahara statue in the box. Tony's knife. Poor Bethany. If we were a second faster, maybe she would still be... You shake your head, unable to finish the thought. You did everything you could. Tony's just one sick bastard. I'm just glad you were able to trace this back to Tony. And what can I say? When you're good, and I'm great. You carefully wrap the knife and place it into the box. I still have so many questions. Why a rubber duck? Duck, bird. I'll say this for him, the guy knows how to do a theme. And he knows how to do a lot of other shady stuff too, like supply Nick with glitter. You shake your head and toss the USB drive into the box. That's everything, Luke. Put this in the back with the rest of it. If I must. Just then, the agency's front door swings open. Tristan strolls in through the door, carrying a small wooden case. I do hope I'm interrupting something. Hardly. Just packing up what's left of the case. Then my timing is perfect. I come bearing a gift, Detective. He hands you the wooden case with a flourish. You run your fingers along the polished surface before opening the lid, revealing... You're calling this a gift? I mean, it is the helm, you know. And I thought I'd seen my last call team mask for the year. How the hell do you even have this, Tristan? Doesn't this belong to the city? I didn't steal it, if that's what you're wondering. I had a chat with the mayor. Let's just say I insisted that the detective who solved the case should have a small memento. He ultimately agreed. I have no idea what you did to convince him, and I'm not sure I want to. Don't mention it. Just consider this filling out your resume. As long as it isn't staring at me all day, it can stay. You laugh and place the mask in a nearby shelf, pointing its eyes away from Luke. Mystery officially solved. Meanwhile, far across the Atlantic Ocean, nestled within the Baltic Mountains, deep within the recesses of the Jacovian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, a phone rings. A level hand reaches out from the shadows to answer it. Yes. The voice, cloaked by static, fills the receiver. The figure nods as the caller speaks, as if satisfied. I heard the prince has once again forestalled his return to Jacovia. An unfortunate hiccup, but nothing that can be remedied. I want the prince here, where we can keep him busy, distracted. The more time he spends in America, the more I feel we'll be dealing with limited information, headlines, and gossip columns. Indeed, the prince has been making quite a splash overseas. The media has been bringing up old wounds, the yacht, the disappearance. It won't do. We've prepared everything so carefully. You must do something about this before the detective becomes sniffing around. They pose no threat to us. Oh, you know, they remind me of the evil people from, what's it called? Oh, Kingdom Hearts. Do not underestimate Tristan, he knows already enough. I understand your concern. I will account for this possibility in my plans. I appreciate your thoroughness and secrecy. You must realize this is a closed-doors discussion. There will be no record of it, I assure you. The past must remain the past. Its secrets are buried with Juliana, and they must stay. If we fail, the entire future of Jacovia will crumble around us. Of course, I am your loyal servant, Your Majesty. What does the future hold for you and Tristan now that he's staying in New York? And what is the case is next for the Genevosi Detective Agency? Find out in Book 2 of Crimes and Passion. Well, without further ado, first and foremost, make sure to like and share the video. Share the channel. Leave a comment, let me know how you felt about it, how you felt I did, and the whole 9 yards, and make sure to subscribe if you aren't already, so you, 1, don't miss out on Book 2, and you don't miss out on other content on the channel. With nearly 3,700 videos, I'm one of the longest content creators on YouTube. I've been doing this for 11 years, keep that in mind. Not just choices, but a lot of other videos. Literally, go check, since oh man, 2011? So, I believe, if not a little later than that. And pretty much a lot of the videos differ, but been covering choices for God knows how long. We've done chapters, we've done Fallout, we've done a massive library of games. So again, always feel free to check those things out. Not just that, but over on, that top platform there in the purple and white, long story short is tons of live streams, especially with this current trial going on. I've been covering that almost every single day. We are currently up to day 17. A lot of my feedback, information, things like that. Fact checking as literally the live stream goes on, and making sure that everyone is on the up and up, and more information than you probably need to know. But if you want to know the truth and nothing but the truth, that is the best place to go. Yeah, I'm touting that. But if you're not interested, don't worry. We do tons of gameplay, tons of chatting, tons of cool things over there as well. But without further ado, I will say the following. Once again, thank you for watching. Very much appreciated. I enjoyed this book. I feel like, again, that's why I made the Most Wanted comment. They had a really, a banger on Most Wanted. There were a lot of people who wanted that book. There were a lot of people who touted about it. And they're literally going the same angle, or at least in my opinion, that they had with Most Wanted. If you remember, John Toll and, the family photo and how it led to more. And you literally had the same chemistry, not maybe the bounce chicka wheel that we've had twice so far in this book, but we had the same chemistry of being into your partner, vice versa, but it never went anywhere. And yeah, it's this book is pretty much just like Most Wanted, but just a little bit more into it. I enjoyed John Toll because he was like Trevor from GTA, and it was fun. It really was, but Pixelberry, I mean, I even made dialogue and things, and even storyboarding ideas for what they could have done with Most Wanted too. And literally, it's like they're like, okay, listen, we can't do it, even though he gave us consent to use these ideas. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new book, and we're going to use the same damn ideas and just say, look, guys, we did something new. It's with royalty. It's with a cult and secrecy and everything else too. But look, guys, look, new book. Like, no, again, it's whatever, but I still believe there could have been and still can be a Most Wanted too, but we've been told, not everybody wanted that, which literally was one of the biggest selling points of the app at the time. Thriller, mystery, etc. And Pixelberry just kind of dropped the ball, to be honest. It wasn't that hard. This has a chemistry of Lucifer and Chloe from Lucifer show. Literally and figuratively has the same thing. He even calls her detective. He literally almost looks the same. And again, has the same chemistry of both of them from the show. So whoever wrote this kind of just took a page from Lucifer. And yeah, that's about that. But otherwise, I enjoyed it. It's fine. Hopefully, book 2 is just as entertaining, and still has the same that we dealt with book 1. And continue. I mean, they literally could continue a series of this as long as they do it right. You don't have to just include the intricacies of the whole thing with Dracovia. You could have one book focused around the mystery of her father, and then you could have another book focused around the Dracovian thing. If you want to do Dracovia and then it leads to her father in the next book, whatever. You could really, in a way, drag this out with a lot of mystery, intrigue, things like that, but also romance too. So you do have a lot. You do have a lot to pull from. But without further ado, that's my 411 on it. Thanks for watching. Much love and appreciation. Lacona Aquin, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.